Hey YouTube, Ultimo Latino here. I'm going to tackle an issue right now that is very near and dear to my heart, and that's the legalization of marijuana. The fact that marijuana is still illegal is a travesty of our legal system. The fact that marijuana users and sellers are being thrown behind bars is also a travesty of our legal system. The fact is that marijuana is a benign drug. It's far less dangerous, far less harmful than alcohol or tobacco, yet it remains a Schedule I illicit substance. Now, you have to deal with the anti-marijuana proponents on a level that they will understand, and that's good, solid facts. You have to attack them with pure logic, because it seems like they have none. When you look at anti-marijuana ads, when you look at anti-marijuana arguments, they just don't hold up. They don't hold up against the mountain of scientific, medical, and legal evidence that points to marijuana prohibition as a crime in of itself. So, in this video, I'm just going to be presenting purely just the facts regarding marijuana, and allow you, my viewers, to draw your own conclusions about it. Marijuana dangers have been grossly overstated. So concluded the National Commission on Marijuana and Drug Abuse. Furthermore, it concluded the smoking of marijuana, even long-term, is not harmful to one's health. You get that? Marijuana is not harmful to one's health, even if it's used in large amounts over a long period of time. Not one medical test used to detect brain damage in a person has found a correlation between heavy marijuana use and brain damage. Long-term heavy marijuana use does not end with brain damage. Period. There is no evidence to suggest that marijuana causes infertility. Everyone who says that marijuana makes a person sterile or causes birth defects is either misinformed or outright lying. Next, it is physically impossible to overdose on marijuana. It has been concluded that the amount of marijuana needed for a person to intake for them to induce death is just ridiculously high. No one could ever smoke that much pot. Marijuana has been shown, medically, scientifically, to aid and help in the recovery of AIDS patients, cancer patients on chemotherapy, people with glaucoma, and people with neurological disorders. There's even evidence to suggest that the cannabinoids in marijuana actually help prevent and stop cancer cells from forming. Next, marijuana is almost never laced with anything. The anti-marijuana zealots would love for you to believe that it's dangerous to smoke pot because it could be laced with other drugs. Guess what? That simply is not logical. Think about it this way. If you're a pot dealer, in order for you to lace your pot with something else, you'd have to buy it. And guess what? That costs money. Why, oh why, would you lace your marijuana that you're going to sell with another substance that's going to cost you more money in the long run? It's not cost effective. And anyone who has ever spoken to a pot dealer knows that they are the most economically intelligent of street people you could ever come across. Plus, why would you want to harm your customer? If you're a pot dealer, wouldn't you want that customer to be satisfied with your product and thus come back? That's just good business sense. Don't get scared into thinking that your marijuana is going to be laced with something. 9 times out of 10, it isn't. And the 10th time that it is, that means that person is just a sick individual who wanted to play a cruel joke on you. Not to mention the fact that if it was legal and regulated, such a thing would be a thing of the past. Next, there is no convincing scientific evidence that suggests that marijuana causes physical dependency. Marijuana smokers have, for the longest time, proven themselves able to quit at the drop of a hat. They don't go through any withdrawal symptoms like people do with other drugs, including cigarettes. You'll never see an stop quitting weed patch on anyone, because marijuana doesn't cause physical dependency and it is not addictive. A lot of the anti-marijuana proponents love to suggest that marijuana that is out now is stronger than that of the 60s and 70s. This is completely false. Studies have shown that the marijuana from the 60s and 70s is just as potent as the marijuana today. And even if the marijuana today was somehow stronger, that would not increase the danger risk from smoking marijuana, or lack thereof, as it were. Tens of thousands of Americans are now in prison for marijuana offenses. An even greater number have lost their jobs, had their driver's license revoked, received fines, probation, and had their property seized, all for doing this harmless thing. And it has yet to deter anyone from smoking marijuana who enjoys it. Marijuana is a benign substance. It has never hurt anyone. Anyone who tells you different is a liar. Anti-marijuana ads also do not make any kind of sense. I personally have seen a few marijuana ads where one person who was smoking pot melted, another person who was smoking pot shot someone, and another kid who was smoking pot, apparently their dog started talking to them. This is ridiculous and outright lies. It's a pathetic attempt by anti-marijuana zealots to sell their case. None of that ever happens. Look, the fact is that marijuana has been used since the beginning of time. It has been used medically, recreationally, and is here to stay. The fact that it is illegal is irrelevant. Marijuana isn't going anywhere, and the people that benefit from marijuana aren't going anywhere either. We need to grow up, step up, and make a mature decision about marijuana. And when you think of it in those terms, you can only come to one conclusion, and that is marijuana should be illegal. It is the right of any individual to use, and the fact that it is illegal is a tribute to the strength and muscle of creative advertising and the almighty dollar that comes from alcohol and tobacco companies. Now, for anyone who thinks that marijuana causes long-term damage or causes a person to experiment with harder drugs or anything like that, I'm going to leave you with the images of a few people, most of which are Americans, who have smoked pot in the past, along with the new national anthem of the American pro-pot movement. Thanks.
Not too keen. I hope you're not driving. Whose fat sack and new pipe? We get fucked up all night, and the weed is not stale. It's okay to inhale. Get the munchies like hell. Then we run to the bell. Hit the bong one more time. Then pass it 'cause it's mine. Oh, say does that weed get me so high? Legalize it today and get smoked out too.